Alright, so you already have the knowledge to create the solo of your own, and I guess it will sound quite good, but it won't sound as good as having your own signature style, right? So there are specific tactics to make your playing more memorable. And bro, listen to this. I bet if your favorite guitar player has a nice vibrato, you can recognize them by their vibrato, right? If your favorite guitar player does this specific lick that they always go back to, like Yngwie, for instance, well, you can recognize them, like for instance, for Yngwie, you can recognize him for the pedal tones. You can always, there's always some little detail of their playing that they're recognizable for, and that's why they're great, right? So here is where I'll show you some of the licks and some of the tactics that I've learned from different guitar players that I really admire, and you will hopefully learn from them, use them in your solo, in your licks, in your solos, and hopefully develop your own kind of signature style, right? So approach number one is something that I've learned from Megadeth, both in classic stuff like, for instance, the intro lick, the first lick of the solo for Holy Wars, and in Post-American World by Kiko, like Kiko's solo. Well, it's playing the same notes, but using different strings for that. For instance, both of these solos actually use the same thing. So they play the 12th fret on the high E string, which is what kind of note? Oh, it's an E note. It's the 12th fret, right? It's just like an open string. And after that, they play the 17th fret of the B string, which is a what note? It's again the same note. It's an E note, but it's not an octave higher, an octave lower, or something like that. It's exactly the same pitch if your guitar is tuned properly. So that makes it super unpredictable. Like you would expect for them to go to the next string, and they do, but you would expect a different note. Well, that's what makes it sound cool, and that's what makes it sound really rememberable. Like this is a memorable guitar solo, and you can hear their approaches in both songs. They kind of do it differently because they're different guitar players, but the result is always making it more interesting. So take this and steal it from them if you want. And we'll actually do another example where we do the same thing with an E minor arpeggio. We're just gonna play starting from the 17th fret, then the 12th fret, and we're just gonna repeat the previous note on one string lower, so that we kind of trick your brain and you're not particularly sure with what is happening, but it's quite easy to play. So, sounds good, right? So approach number two is using a particular technique. So having a particular technique in mind for creating a lick in your solo or your improvisation. For instance, you know that now's the time to do a legato run in your solo, or you really want to incorporate some hybrid picking that you've learned recently from a song or just discovered the technique recently. So in order not to confuse you more with the explanation, I'll first give you the examples. So here's the smooth legato thing from Pull Me Under, and really make sure to learn that particular thing, but also learn how it relates to everything in the song. How we go from the melodic stuff to the smooth legato. And the hybrid picking thing, I did not think about it myself. I just thought of it from a song that I've learned called Night Stalkers from the newest Megadeth album, but probably not gonna be the newest after, I don't know, a few months. We're waiting for the next album, probably the last one. So this is where Kiko used some hybrid picking to play the same note one octave higher, skipping one string, and because he used hybrid picking, like picking with the middle finger instead of the pick, this is what allowed him to be very fast. All of this to say, practice your techniques, understand their mood or feel, and then when you want to create something like some kind of your lick and you want to sound smooth, for instance, well, it will naturally come to you to use legato. If you want to sound super strict, it will naturally come to you because of your experience with it to use alternate picking and maybe 3 notes per string stuff, right? So just practicing all of these techniques will actually prove to be useful in ways that you didn't really imagine. This is what happened for me. Approach number 3 is playing intervallic licks. And now that sounds like a real fancy word, but when you know you gotta play in key, for instance, G major, because why not stick to the example that I've always given? Well, and you don't just want to do the scale up and down like an exercise, you can play in intervals. So for instance, maybe in thirds. What does this mean? Well, we start at one note, the G note for instance, we skip two notes, so we skip the next one, and we play the A note. Alright, so, we play the B note. So G, B, then A and C, then we're gonna play B and D, and like you see how we don't play two consecutive notes, but we skip one, and then we play G and B, then A and A and C, then B and D, and all of these stuff. So this is playing in thirds. This is the intervallic lick, like playing G major in thirds. You can also do other intervals. You can also do playing in fifths. So that's gonna be, for instance, starting from 3, like the 3rd fret on the 6th string, playing the G note, and then playing 5 on the A string, which is gonna be a D note. So we're gonna play G and then D, then we're gonna play, for instance, B, and after that we're gonna play, we're gonna go to the G note, and like we're gonna just repeat those things over and over again, so that we make sure that we're always playing in fifths. And the final one, incorporate some chromatic stuff, man. Just don't be scared of going out of key for a little, if it's on purpose, because if you truly accent the note with a bend or with, I don't know, vibrato and all of this stuff, it will sound bad, but people will know if it's a passing tone. Like for instance, if you gotta play 17 and 15 in your own key, like in the key that you are in, well, doing 17, 16, 15, that's not gonna sound super bad. And, or even if you gotta go to 12th, just doing ascending or descending chromatic run, it's alright, it will sound cool. Children of Bodom do it, like Alexi used to do it. Why don't we do it? You can also do appoggiaturas, and sorry if there's some Italian guy that knows how to pronounce it. I probably didn't pronounce it super correct, but appoggiatura is this thing. I probably give you an example that will explain it. So the way to actually go about this stuff is learn all of them and learn the particular tabs, like learn the particular licks, but also understand why they work and why they have the sound. Why does legato sound smooth? Why did Kiko play something with hybrid picking when he wanted to be fast? And you will start naturally thinking about this stuff, and once they stay in your mind for long enough, you'll actually be able to include those in your improvisation. Maybe when you start writing solo and you have more time to think, they will come naturally to you. So all of this to say, these are the things that will make your solos more interesting, and you already have the skills to create a solo, so ornament them, ornament the licks that you create from shreddy and melodic knowledge with these ones, and you'll have your own signature style, and you'll be recognizable and all of the good stuff. So last module of the lead guitar course. There's a lot to cover here and a lot to learn, but you will make it. See you in the next course, or maybe in the community course.